Let's get right into it. Number 6. DDT, the Unintended Eco-Guest. Picture a sunny back porch in the 1940s. Farmers and homeowners gleefully spraying DDT to rid their gardens of mosquitoes and crop-devouring insects. At first glance, it was a miracle. Crops thrived, malaria rates plummeted, and life seemed ticking along beautifully. But here's the twist. Those tiny droplets that settled on your tomatoes didn't disappear. They rode the food chain, slipping into birds that ate the insects, into fish that ate the insects' larvae, and ultimately into egg cartons across the country. By the 1960s, scientists noticed bald eagle and peregrine falcon eggs cracking under their own weight, an ecological house of cards collapsing silently. Think about leaving breadcrumbs for the birds at your feeder, only to realize you've sown the entire neighborhood with crumbs that attract every creature, great and small. That's DDT for you. What began as a targeted pesticide became a buffet for entire ecosystems. Even decades after bans swept the globe, trace amounts linger in Arctic ice and human fatty tissue. Some researchers suggest that these residual doses may disrupt hormone systems in wildlife today, proving that a solution born of good intentions can echo through generations. Number 5. Thalidomide, a cautionary pill. Imagine your grandmother recounting how a simple tablet soothed her morning sickness, and how that same tablet left an indelible scar on thousands of families. In the late 1950s, thalidomide was pitched as a harmless remedy for nausea in expectant mothers. Doctors prescribed it by the handful, convinced they were gifting women renewed comfort. What they didn't test for, however, was its effect on tiny, developing limbs. Soon, hospitals filled with infants born without arms or with stunted legs, each child a tragic monument to scientific oversight. It's as if someone handed out free locks to prevent break-ins, only to find those very locks jamming every door in the neighborhood. Thalidomide's makers never ran thorough teratogenic tests, and the world paid in human tragedy. In the aftermath, drug regulations were overhauled worldwide. Today, any new medication undergoes layered trials in animals and humans before even reaching pharmacy shelves. Yet survivors still face lifelong health hurdles, reminding us that rigorous science must guard against our greatest hopes and our gravest mistakes. Number 4. Asbestos, the hidden hazard in plain sight. Close your eyes and picture wrapping your home in insulation so fireproof that even the fiercest blaze can't touch it. For much of the 20th century, asbestos was that wonder material, lightweight, cheap, and heat-resistant. It crept into ship hulls, ceiling tiles, and popcorn-textured walls, quietly hardening its grip on modern architecture. But decades later, workers stripping old insulation began coughing up blood, and patients diagnosed with mesothelioma discovered that asbestos fibers had lodged deep in their lungs, scarring tissue long before symptoms appeared. It's like wearing what you believe is a feather-light scarf, only to learn it's woven from microscopic spikes that burrow under your skin. These fibers can lie dormant for 30 to 40 years, only to unleash fatal disease once symptoms finally surface. Although many countries no longer allow new installations, asbestos still lurks in countless older buildings. Specialist abatement teams must suit up in hazmat gear just to renovate, and some researchers warn that low-level environmental exposures may still elevate cancer risks. This fireproof wonder didn't just save lives, it planted a time bomb that humankind is still diffusing. Number 3. CFCs, when cool breezes broke the sky. Remember that satisfying hiss when you sprayed your hair with aerosol or peeked at a frozen treat from the fridge? Behind those cool comforts in the 1970s were chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, touted as totally harmless. Little did anyone foresee that these same molecules would drift skyward, unleash chlorine atoms under sunlight, and gnaw away at our ozone shield. By the early 80s, researchers spotted an enormous thinning above Antarctica, a gaping hole that threatened to flood Earth's surface with unfiltered UV radiation. Imagine carrying an umbrella with a stealthy hole you never noticed. Dry one moment, sunburn the next. That's the CFC story. An innocent invention becoming the planet's sunscreen thief. The global response, the Montreal Protocol of 1987, became a blueprint for environmental diplomacy, slashing CFC production almost overnight. Today, the ozone layer shows tentative healing, but some researchers caution it won't fully recover until mid-century. Every time you slip on sunscreen or don sunglasses, you're benefiting from a treaty born of scientific alarm and human cooperation. Number 2. Agent Orange, the war you can't unsee. Walk through a lush rainforest, and it's easy to forget this planet has waged chemical wars on itself. During the Vietnam conflict, millions of gallons of Agent Orange were unleashed to strip foliage and expose hidden supply lines. The immediate effect was ruthless deforestation, but the silent fallout came in dioxin, a contaminant that hitchhiked into soil, water, and human bodies. Soldiers returned home with cancers, children were born with heart defects, whole villages grappled with birth anomalies and chronic illnesses long after the helicopters departed. Imagine painting your fence to fend off termites, only to find the paint seeping into your groundwater and making your neighbors sick. That's what Agent Orange became, a defoliant with no regard for biological boundaries. Cleanup efforts still slog through contaminated hotspots, and compensation battles continue in courts decades later. Some researchers suggest that epigenetic changes may pass damage to future generations, underscoring how wartime science can cast a generational shadow that outlives conflict itself. Number 1. Nuclear weapons, power beyond control. Standing at the dawn of the atomic age must have felt like humanity trembling at the edge of a cliff, knowing you'd unlocked power to reshape the world forever. In July 1945, scientists triggered an explosion at the Trinity test site in New Mexico that outshone the sun for an instant. Weeks later, Hiroshima and Nagasaki bore witness to the bomb's destructive promise, tens of thousands vaporized in a blinding flash. What began as a wartime imperative soon morphed into an existential threat, a perpetual standoff with the capacity to erase our own species. It's like discovering a new element that fuels rockets and obliterates cities in equal measure, then realizing no one agreed on the off switch. Beyond the fireball lies a quieter menace: radioactive isotopes settling into soil, water, and food chains, some lingering for thousands of years. Over 2,000 nuclear tests have scattered fallout across the globe, and every treaty is a delicate dance to rein in this Pandora's box. Some researchers warn that even low-dose radiation can subtly distort DNA or elevate cancer risks. Nuclear science gifted us the sun's power in a bottle and left us holding the cork. That's all for today. Subscribe to see more.